from what he was telling me that time, now I never believe anything. I know they were just stories. He used to tell me that he used to work with the government, doing a borehole thing in various counties. So he was never in Nairobi most of the time. So we could only meet up over the weekends. Can I eat this later?
Yes, you can.
Yeah. So now we meet the first weekend, and he has introduced me to his friends, and of course his friends are acknowledging him. So I'm seeing I'm with the guy. Actually, remember we went to is it Legend? The one in there's a Legend there.
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
There's another nice
place. Let's call it Legend.
Yeah, let's call it that. And all his friends are like calling him the bazoo, and I'm like, woo! I am the girl.
Yes.
I'm feeling like the first lady. So that is the night we got to go home with him. I went to his house, and I remember that Sunday. Now it was Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So Sunday I played a wife at his house. Kawaida ya wasichana, ukibebwa campus, you go to a man's house and you start being a wife. So I played that role.
What does that mean though?
Cooking, cleaning.
Oh, I see.
You're cooking, you're cleaning, you're wanting to feel like you're belonging to this person. But there was still like a part of me that was kind of So the next day, Monday, I needed to go to the salon that week. So this was the first time probably I would have needed money from him. So I mentioned it, and silence, no feedback. You see the way you'll say, I will be going to the salon this week. No feedback. No, like I can even come in or something. And communication dies that week. Then on Friday, I'm getting now the anxiety. Where is this guy? I thought he was the one. I was feeling like we are doing something. So, and he had introduced me to his friend. Do you know what I did? I called his friend. I told him what I'm going through. This guy is not picking my call. He's not available. Is he okay? Like, I'm really concerned. My mind then, not knowing, okay, today it's different. Of course, you understand when a man goes silent what they mean. So to me, it was like, is he okay? Could something have happened to him? He told me he travels a lot. So the guy tells me, probably could meet tomorrow and have a conversation around that. So just to bring some light so that you can see how now the third guy now comes in, the one I married, not that one, the one that I had a marriage certificate with. He was an accountant. So I had met him during those drinking sprees. I had met him, but he was not meeting the criteria. He was not passing the mark to qualify to be my man, because I didn't see him being able to pay for the fees. He was still building his business, and he was a drunkard. So now, so back to the story. So we are to meet. We meet on Saturday so that we can just have that conversation. He tells me what's going on. We go meet a club that was near Allianz. We drink, and the guy chippos me. I wake up the next day in his house. I'm feeling filthy. I'm hating myself. I'm feeling like probably I should have just been with the accountant guy. Why am I doing this to myself? Does it have to be like this? I'm feeling like I just want to give up on my life. And then I tell myself, one more thing. Irene, before you give up on your life and die, because I was feeling like I wanted just to die. Do this. There's this man who has been bothering you. It's time to go to him. Either way, there's nothing to lose.
Which one?
The accountant guy.
Okay.
He had been asking me out and all that, but I'd gone out with him once. But he was constantly chatting me and looking for me. But I was ignoring him because he wasn't meeting the criteria of what I was looking for. So I was like, what is there to lose? Just go. So I got to my house in the morning. I took a shower, cried. Then I called him. Now the accountant, he was shocked to see my call. Then he's like, oh yeah, you can come over.
Where?
To his house.
Damn.
Yeah.
This man. Ooh, this man.
This man.
It's bonkers. How they operate.
Yeah.
Come over.
Come. Come we talk. Come over to my house. What do I have to lose? I know now I've lost the V8 guy.
Last night you were chipod and you're on your way.
Yeah, I'm on my way.
Oh.
I'm on my way. And all along, I'm hoping everything goes well. I'm hoping this where there's going to be hope. If there's no hope, I'm going to kill myself because I was feeling like life was just too much. In between, I'd had episodes of even doubting my health status because of the many experiences here and there. I remember nights when I was in campus, I would vividly pray to God that tomorrow if I go for that checkup, please let it be a negative. I remember having those moments. And I would actually go to take a test before I go to class because I couldn't settle. It was disturbing. So at this point, I'm feeling like so much has happened. God, can't you just give me some rest? Like, I'm tired of looking. So I arrive. Shock on me. When I arrived, he had just sent someone away.
How do you know that?
How I know that is, I'm in his house. I arrived, it was around 6 p.m. in the evening. Then there's this lady who keeps calling. Then he tells me the story. Now, Irene, I have to tell you this. So there's this lady, Irene, I didn't know you were coming. We weren't in anything. So there's this girl I've been having sex with just for that purpose. And now that you're here, please, could you just pick up the call and tell her that she was here today? Could you just pick up and tell her that you're my wife and you're my girlfriend and she should just leave me alone? Imagine I did that.
I won't judge you.
Yeah. So the next morning, this guy doesn't even have gas. I ask him, how come? How do you survive? You don't even have a cook or something.
My hotel.
Do you know what he tells me?
No.
You know, I got tired of buying because every time I buy, I'll get drunk, I get a woman home and they leave with something in the morning.
Oh my God, that was what?
That's what he tells me and I'm like, shit, where am I at? And then he's telling me, Irene, I really need you in my life because I know when you come into my life, all that is going to change. I am willing to start over with you. And I'm like, probably I can fix this one for me. Because the ones that I'm finding fixed, or the ones who appear to have the money, they are lacking something that they're not seeing my value in their life. This one is accepting that he has been living a bad life. He had actually been excommunicated from the church. He used to serve, he was a Jehovah's Witness. He had been set aside because of drinking and women.
He was being set aside. That's what Jehovah's Witness calls it.
Excommunication?
They say you have been set aside. Wewe unajuaje hiyo story? Hiyo story ya set aside ulijua wapi? Uliingia kwa Jehovah's Witness?
He told me. I had to become a Jehovah's Witness for a moment. Yeah, I was a Jehovah's Witness when I was dating him. And so that Monday, we start creating our kingdom. So I remember we were at the rooftop of his house where he was staying. And he's telling me, Irene, I can teach you bookkeeping, we can do this business together. And I'm like, I was doing BCom marketing. And in my first and second year, I had some bits of accounting, financial accounting. So I was like, probably it's something I could learn.
Yeah.
And get my fees paid. Save up. And he was willing to pay my fees. He told me, Irene, if we make money, we could save up and have you go with your campus. I'm ready to support you through that. And I was like, hell yes. I think I forgot the filth. And I was like, let me clean this man up. And now...
Let me clean this man up.
Yeah, let me make him for me.
A very... Betty the Builder.
Bobby the Builder.
Irene the Builder.
Yeah.
I
become the builder now in this one.
Chukulia easy. Yake looks better. Mine is well done. It's done.
So I become the builder. He teaches me the trade, everything that needs to happen. I am happy. When he's going to work, he leaves me the 200 bob, so at least I have money for food.
Hey, you come to live in his house?
I'm in his house now. I never went back. Or even if I went, it's to pick clothes and come back.
Wow.
Yeah. So I start living with him.
And going to campus.
Yeah, and our life changes. We move from that home, we get another house. But 3 weeks into, because this was the biggest red flag. 3 weeks after knowing each other, on Friday he goes into his drinking sprees, and then we were to meet that night. Then I don't know whether I found him. I told him we needed to go home, but he was defiant. He didn't want to go home. He felt like I was kind of controlling him.
Yeah.
You know what he did? He calls another woman. And she's there now. Me and the other woman, and he's paying attention to the other woman.
What's wrong? What's going on with him?
He's like defiant, like because I wanted us to go home and I told him I would leave. When you go to a club and I'm telling him we go home, that was not our initial plan, all right? So he got into the club, I found him drinking. So he told me, let me finish this, then we go home. And then he doesn't. When he's done, he keeps ordering. So I tell him I'm going to leave. And then he tells me you can go. And at that point, that's when he gets the other lady to come. So we are there. He's not apologetic. He's saying all sorts of vulgar words to me. I am feeling disgusted. I feel like throwing up.
Oh, really?
I was feeling disrespected. So I choose to go home. I leave and I go home. Then he comes at 5 a.m., 6 a.m. with a woman. So when I got home, I locked the doors everywhere. So he comes to knock and I can hear he's with a woman on the door. I remember it was just that freezing moment. I'm like, what is this? And I swore the next day I am leaving and I'm leaving for good. So he comes in the morning around 10, 11. I open for him begging. He kneels down. He starts crying. Irene, I don't know what happened to me. I cannot even...
You do not open the door to them when they come in the wee hours of the morning?
No, I don't. I said my safety first. I don't know. I cannot let him in. So he went and he comes back later. So when he comes, he's apologizing. He's sorry about all that. Now this is the time we go to my mother the next day.
Oh, your mother. Again.
Yeah. We are going to my mother this time so that to prove to me that he's committed to me. So he's going to tell my mother that he found me and he's going to help me pay my fees. He's going to be there for me and we're in a relationship.
Has he paid anything?
Not at all. And we even go to his parents. We go to his parents. They love me so much because they can see hope in their son.
Hey.
Yeah.
They knew their son.
Yeah,
and now they were seeing a woman coming to take care of him.
Exactly.
Shit.
Yeah. And they actually were really supportive of me, especially the dad. Anytime I had an issue, the dad was always there to encourage me. They used to tell me how their son is becoming a better person. So we lived together for a year. Mm-hmm. Actually, we paid school fees. We paid one full semester, 70K this time.
He paid?
Yeah, we saved up and paid through the works we were doing. We grew, actually. We grew from a few clients to several clients. We were always together, going to various clients together. I learned the trade and I had access to the bank, to his account, so at least I was feeling safe with that. And I would say he was committed, but he had his insecurity issues. So he moved from a bed-sitter to a one-bedroom in a better space. We bought new things.
You bought gas?
We bought... and added a microwave.
Kuchoma nyama.
Yeah. So we had a life. So life was getting better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, until We would drink a lot. We never used to.
Oh,
With him,
he co-opted you into drinking.
we would drink together. When you're drinking together, it wasn't a problem. The problem is him drinking alone or me drinking alone. So that's how we had put it. So we would drink over the weekend. On Mondays were our off days because we were.
Did you guys stagger out of the bar and supported each other towards the car?
No, we weren't. We didn't even have a car, so probably supporting each other through the matatu.
Okay.
Yeah, but I would say it was what was challenging for me in this marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so here we are making the money together. So there's no surprise money. The money is the one that we are making, which I'm seeing how it's flowing, the limitations we have. We are budgeting for the food and everything together with the same money. Yeah. So that money lacked that element of surprise. He couldn't surprise me. He couldn't buy me something exciting and feel like, or I couldn't just spend the money and feel good because I knew it was hard-earned money. I was a part of, I don't know.
He couldn't get money out of the bank without your signature.
Yeah, that was never there.
That was a good move. You had been learning.
Mm-hmm, I had been learning. So,
from a range to a wing road.
Mm-hmm. And now to a matatu.
To a matatu. What a life.
I'm not in a matatu.
What a life. Yeah. You retrogressed, right?
Yeah. It was like the slope was...
Were you ever in a matatu and thought to yourself, shit, where is my range?
Of course, you could have those moments, but again, what to do?
What to do?
Wait, the desire for that now led me to this. What comes here? The number 4.
Yes.
So the church, because he had been excommunicated from the church, the dad was a church elder. So in Jehovah's Witness, this is what happens.
Mm-hmm.
If you're excommunicated, you cannot participate in the church.
Yeah.
And even if your parents they cannot really relate with you from a very close level. They'll still appreciate you as their child, but they can't really be seen with you that much until
where in you can't say it high on the.
You can even them in the church. You are my dad, and I'm the one who has been excommunicated. In the church, you don't know me.
Aye.
Yeah, we can only operate like that when we are home. So the dad was really pushing that we formalize this.
Do you want coffee?
Black.
Yeah, let's order coffee black. I also feel like I need coffee. You kiti mejaa kwa tumbo. Mm-hmm. You what did you call it? I don't even know what they're calling it. A Bedi La Cantina. Let's call him and see if he can give us coffee. In the next how long, Uma? Yes. Si tulete nini 2 coffees.
2 coffee. With milk or without?
Without milk.
Without milk, okay.
Yeah, with honey.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Uma in how long?
How long?
No. You're in sawa lete. In the next? 20 is fine. 20 is fine, yes.
So where was I?
We were in the matatu, you know.
Oh, the flow.
Yes, and then now I think we are getting into the 4th man. Gosh.
Yeah. So now we formalized that of August 2012.
Yeah.
We went to the AG without his parents, without my parents. We found witnesses, signed.
What was the hurry?
So that he could be taken back to church, so that he can become a good man. Remember, I was already building him. We had built them.
That is what the church wanted?
Yeah, we had to be, because we were already living together and we were consistent. Every Sunday we would go to, they call them meetings.
Yeah, and they were seeing him with this beautiful woman who is responsible, who was propped up his business.
Yes.
You needed to be co-opted into the church.
Yeah, now we needed to, for him to be accepted back.
Yes.
and so that he can also serve, because he used to teach them. They call teachings, like meaning that he used to stand in front of on the pulpit and conduct a session. So for him to be taken back in and be able to do that, which I saw he was able to do that, he would become a much better man for me.
Yes.
So I was willing to sign the marriage certificate so that we can have a decent life and start having children. So we signed the marriage certificate, and a month later we separated.
What?
Yeah, and the reason why we separated is that towards we used to have those episodes of drinking and losing his mind and all that, and apologizing, getting violent here and there, threatening suicide if I left him and all that. Used to have those episodes. So this particular night where we separated, we weren't in so good terms, and he went out drinking.
Okay.
Then he came later in the night. I was not in the house. I was in the neighbor's house, which was his best friend. So when I saw he wasn't coming, I decided to go wait for him in the friend's house. We were drinking with the friend and the girlfriend. So he came home around 3 a.m. and going to check, he had locked himself inside the house. So when the guy friend asked him to open, you remember the lady? The one who I met the first day, the one that he sent out.
Yeah.
She was the one standing on my seats.
Standing?
Yeah, beating her chest, saying that that's her house.
Hey.
Pulling our portrait and smashing it down, saying that that's her man. And I was like, wow, I felt so insulted. So I didn't sleep there. I slept at the neighbor's house. The next day, I went back to Pipeline.
Oh my God.
I had to reset. Paipu reset. That was the reset point. I went to Paipu. Now to start over my life. Now the good thing is, at least with, I did not see kutoka bure. I left with one client. There was one lady client. She used to sell groceries at Nakumat Westgate that time. So I used to do her books, and we had cultivated a relationship. So when I told her that my marriage was over, she was like, Irene, I still want to work with you. So I had one client who was paying me 12K.
Per month?
Yeah, per month. So that was my means of survival. So I lived with my cousin. Then after staying a month, I was like, no, Irene, you've become a big girl. You cannot keep staying. Now she was in a bed sitter. The other time I left her in a single room. Now she has advanced. She's in a bed sitter. Then I was like, I needed to get my house. Do you know what I did? I got my own, paying 6,000. And I'm earning 12,000. And I used to have, the office was in Madonna House. What was happening is we got this office. We were doing bookkeeping for the owner of this office. So even when we separated, I told him what had happened, and he was like, Irene, you can just keep coming over and doing your work for this particular client. He actually even helped me get another laptop that I could use to work for this client. So I used to come to Westlands every day for that one client. Go back, I would wake up in the morning at 5, just like anyone who is going to a job that is paying a lot. Then I met a friend, who now a guy friend, of course. When I was in the quest of getting.
Are you going to school?
That time, yes, I am. I am going to class as well, but now I switched them to evening classes.
Is this door open?
Now I switched to evening classes. Was it really? No, I think I was still juggling. Sometimes I would work. I was still juggling the day class that time, if I remember correctly. So, so this friend, I don't want to call him his true name because he's still my friend to date, and he got married and he moved on. So, what name do I give him?
See, Chris is a fourth guy.
Chris is in this book.
Yeah.
How do I call him?
Let's call him Joe.
Joe.
Yeah.
That's far off. So Joe was so friendly. We became friends with benefits in that we were not in a relationship.
Yeah.
But we could go out or like I was his next person. Everyone thought we were dating. He would buy me lunch every day in Westlands. He would drop me home some days. I think there's even a month he paid my rent. We could go to Club Size, Langata.
The question is, what did Joe want?
Joe,
given your you know, your experience, your wealth of experience with men, what did you think Joe was just showing up to pay rent and not pay himself?
Joe was very genuine with me. Joe
really
was genuine because when I met him, he was having baby mama dramas.
Yes.
And he told me, Irene, with this, I'm not able to commit. So somehow I knew he couldn't, and he was way older, a bit.
Wajama old seaman.
Him was a bit.
He was okay.
He was good.
Yeah.
Like, everything was
okay.
fine with him.
Shout out to Joe. Joe, wherever you are, shout out to you, my man.
He even bought me a laptop. This guy but he couldn't pay my fees. I knew in his state he couldn't pay the fees.
Yeah, but you also needed to take whatever you could take.
Exactly.
Yeah. Sio vizu unaimba kila saa.
Wow.
Okay, but Joe came through.
Joe came through. He introduced me to. We would go to. We had different days where we went to different places for band to listen to the band, K1 and all that.
Yeah.
So it was when I was with Joe that I met Chris.
Oh, Chris.
Yeah.
Tell me about Chris. The fourth man.
Yeah.
2.5 hours later, we have arrived at the fourth man.
Yeah, Chris, when I met him, we met in Club Size, I think. The one in Westlands.
Babes, you have gone to several clubs.
Too.
Shit!
Yeah. But I was with Ken. I was always with my person. I've never gone to a club like
you just called him with the real name. We'll remove. Peter, go on. I hope that you're enjoying this program. Over the last 15 years, I have been working online for clients in America, in Europe, and all over the world. And that is why it pains me a lot when I see a lot of African brothers and sisters saying that they do not have a job. Now, this is the problem. A lot of people are trying to look for a job in 2024 in their own town, in their local area. Now, the truth is, there are no jobs in Africa, at least not so many jobs. The good news is that we have internet these days. We have a tablet, we have a computer, we have a phone, and that means that we can do a lot of jobs, and those jobs are online. That is why over the last 4 years I've been writing a book that is called Digital Goldmine. It is a book that explains to you how you can earn money online. The 18 hustles that I've chosen are basically for Africans, because what happens when you are doing online jobs is that payment is usually a problem. So these 18 side hustles that I have put together in this book, you can be paid very well and very conveniently. Okay, so the book is only 1,000 Kenya shillings. That is about $10. You can buy it in Kenya using paybill number. You can buy it online from anywhere in the world using a credit or a debit card. All the information about this book is in the description below. And if you have a brother, you have a wife, you have a husband, you have a friend who is sitting at home and watching Netflix, please do buy this book for them. If you are the one sitting at home and watching Netflix and have nothing to do, please buy this book and your life is gonna change forever. Because I have been doing this online and I've been traveling and I've been enjoying myself and having a lot of fun. So thank you very much, and now back to programming. Yeah, we meet Chris.
Now we meet Chris.
How do you meet Chris?
I was out with Joe. As usual. Joe was my out buddy.
Yeah.
So we are in Club Size, and I'm seeing Safaricom guys used to drink there on Fridays.
That is uko kwa Njuguna sama iko ni wapi?
Club Size ilikuwa karibu Unga House.
Yeah.
And then it was closed. So we used to go there on Fridays. So I go into this place, I'm seeing a group of men.
Yeah.
From that table, I'm not dating Joe, so I'm free to see. Yeah, so I see this guy, the first one that was quite, that looked good, of course. And then I noted the other one. So I meet two guys that are seemingly looking interesting to me. And both of them get to have my number that night.
Let me ask you something, darling. Of all these men, you seem to be the one getting them. Like wewe ndo ulikuwa mwindaji. Wewe ndo ulikuwa na winda hawa wote.
No. You know,
sioni mwenye amekuwinda.
Si wananiwinda pia. Like, they look at me. Of course, for interest to generate, it has to be from a point. They have to show interest.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
yes,
so
I agree.
Them show interest. And you know the
mutual.
corridor. Yeah, you know.
So all mutual.
Yeah, mutual.
Very good.
You know,
so both of them go with your number.
Yeah, they go with my number.
You ni Vaseline? I know, lotion. Oh, nisaidie nayo kidogo. They get your number.
Yeah, they get my number. Then after.
Here is tea. It's coffee. Yes.
This is the one that you told me about.
Yes.
The one that is well done.
Yes. This is now the real coffee. Wachana na baraza. Baraza wajielewi.
Wacha nikunywe hivyo.
Okay. So both of them get to go with your number. How so? How does that happen?
So you see the corridor, the toilet breaks.
Oh my God!
You see the toilet breaks.
Oh my God!
They really worked. The toilet breaks. That's where we did some eyeing kind of thing, and we exchanged, and then before knowing it, both of them have my number.
Are they asking about Joe?
Not at all.
They don't care.
They don't care. And then we were going to
Do you
Carnival.
think it is the tendency of men not to care about men that are around women that they are eyeing?
Is it a tendency? I think assumption.
I would be very careful. I would be very careful to try getting a woman's number on the corridor, and I can see that in the main lounge they're actually having a man. And that is why, and that goes to what you were saying earlier on when we started, when you said that men want to take it all.
Yeah. They just want to have it. They don't. That's not something it's in the back of their mind at that particular point. They're only caring about their selfish interests. They're only caring about themselves, just like everyone does. Right now, you see something, a very beautiful shoe that you'd like to get. You're not gonna care whether there's someone else who wants to get it.
Or holding the left shoe in their hand.
Exactly.
So you're like, when are you dropping it?
Exactly. So the same thing happened that night. And then we were coming to Carnival for Rumba.
Yeah.
You know, the first night, the Friday Rumbas, first Friday of the month or something. You must know that.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, we used to come for that. They follow us, both of them driving in the same car. So when I saw the two, there was the man who I thought was with the bag, with the money. The one I thought was with the one I thought was with the bag is the one. He was actually not the one with the bag.
My God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And this I learned 2 days later, because the one with the bag followed up after the carnival night. He actually wished me a good night that night. The next day he called me.
Very good. Very good.
It was nice meeting you.
Oh man. Yule jamaa mwenye hana chake. Jamaa wa Ring Road.
Yeah. So the one that I had liked is not the one who followed up. The one I liked more
was the broker one.
Yeah.
The guy with the no bag.
Yeah, not that much of a bag.
Okay.
So he followed up, and then he insisted on meeting me. He wanted to meet me that Saturday. I declined.
Why did you decline?
I declined because I think it was just a natural instinct, or probably that moment where I was feeling.
Or you're waiting for the other guy to show interest.
I think I declined because I had this moment of realizing it's gonna go down the same way.
Yeah, na ilikuwa imekuchokesha hiyo life.
Ilikuwa imenichokesha. So he insisted. I put him on Sunday. So we scheduled a meeting on Friday. He came, picked me up, and he took me to Scotches. You remember Scotches?
Darling, me I'm not a bad guy. Hata hizo rumba unasema mimi sijawahi enda hizo. Mimi I told you that mimi first of all I was raised in church. Those shetani places we never
those places that glorify the devil.
Sisi hatuendagi huko bana. Huko kuna majini.
It will swallow you up. Yeah.
So you go to Ridgeways.
Yeah, we go to Ridgeways. We have a great time, conversations. He calls his friend, and I'm like, "Wow, is it that I am my life story is so scary that he doesn't feel safe with me anyway?" So I find out he was actually really interested in me, and that's why he called his friend. I pour my heart out as I always do. I share everything.
What did you share?
Everything. I share about my past.
Wing Road, Range Rover.
No, I share so much. You just know I said like everything. And this guy still got interested for some reason. Because I knew.
Why were you pouring out your heart?
I don't know. I think.
Why though? I think you know.
Probably it was a way of.
Did you want to tell them that this is what has happened to me? Please don't do it to me again.
Probably that's what I was looking forward to doing. That's what I was attempting to do subconsciously. But in the conscious, I was feeling like anyway, we are not gonna meet again anyway. That was Sunday. We met on Friday night. We did not meet on Saturday. On Sunday we went out for that date. On Monday, that time I was waiting for help. I didn't have school fees, so I'd applied for help. So what I used to do, I used to play hide and seek. That time I was doing now the evening classes. I transitioned because I wanted to start selling mutumba to look for school fees and also combine with the bookkeeping work. So I transitioned the classes to the evening. So what I used to do, I used to play hide and seek with the register guys. So I'd wait when they are done, and then I would sneak in class because they wouldn't let me in. I didn't pay it. So on Monday, Chris calls me. Like, he would like to see me. I tell him I'm actually in campus waiting to get into class. He's like, why are you not yet in class? I tell him I'm still waiting for help to pay my fees. Then he's like, come to take me somewhere. So I'm like, I've got it's just the first week. So I join Chris. We go, that time he was building for his parents. So he takes me to get materials and all that. Then we end up in a setup. We have a conversation. I tell him what I'm going through financially when it comes to the fees and all that. Do you know what? He promises to pay my fee that Monday. I saw it was a joke. And then he gives me an Android phone. So alinitoa kwa kabambe. Yes.
Ulienda paipu, ukachukua kabambe.
No, ameniingiza WhatsApp. I didn't even know how WhatsApp works.
Oh, man.
He's the one, and then he put me 500 bob airtime. I'm like, what? This is normal. Money is back.
We are in range again.
Money is back. The guy he had could not actually tell of how financially good he was, his financial state was. Yeah. But now learning what he was doing and everything, he was always with cash flow. And then he seemed to give me money without even saying a word. Like, he sends me 1,000, have lunch. 500 put airtime. I'm like, who is this? He gives me a phone within the same week that I met him. On Saturday, on Friday, we go on a date, fiesta, in town.
That one I know.
Yeah. It was really a nice one. We have wonderful conversations. I feel like, yeah, this feels like it. This really feels like it. So we go home to his house. And that was it. The next day we go to the bank. He pays my fees in full. We go to my house in Pipeline, my bedsitter. He tells me pick a few clothes. We pass by his friend's house. his best friend who was now, we passed by his friend.
Yule jamaa mwenye si wa kikapu.
No, another one. Another one. So then we passed by, that time he was living in Parklands. So we passed by Pangani, we do shopping, and then I become a wife. We go home. Now I'm from Pipeline to Parklands. I'm from Pipeline now to Parklands.
Hey. Oh my God.
Yeah.
The same week.
Same week.
But what is the hurry? Can you just tell them why don't you just enjoy me while I'm in Paipu? Buy me gas cooker.
1 week before I met him, I'd gotten to a very desperate state where I was feeling like I had actually said, and that's what starts the book. The man who marries me, the man who pays my school fees, I'm gonna marry them. I'd made that prayer a week before. So when I saw him and he paid my fees, I was like, he's the one. He's the one. And that's how I'm
who suggests that you go to, whose suggestion is this that you go to Parklands?
He led the way.
But why? Why the hurry? I wonder. Irene, I wonder.
Remember, personally, these are prayer being answered for me. So I have no objection. Remember, I have prayed. I want a man to pay my fees. He has paid. A week later, 70K. And I have met so many others out there who did whatever they wanted to do and they never even got close to paying.
The men that always wanted to pay themselves.
Yeah. This one, as much as I'm willing, instead of waiting for him to take it for himself, I am ready, marry. We started living together from that day, and he had this line. He had told me, Irene, anytime. I think he was moved by the stuff I had gone through, because at that particular time I met him. Now I was starting a divorce with the other guy.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
With the other lady. With his wife? Or
no,
what?
I was starting. Remember, I married.
Oh, the accountant.
Yeah, the accountant. And then him, when I met him on Friday, on Wednesday, he confesses to me that he was having a girlfriend and they were living together, and she's still in the house. She's supposed to leave. And I'm like, I can't see you again. You still have a woman in your house. Do you know what he does? That was Wednesday. On Thursday evening, when I'm out in some size in Langata with my Joe, he sends me, he texts me, he tells me that the lady left, that he's free, is available to be with me.
He evicted her.
I don't know what happened. Maybe he did, maybe.
He evicted her, right?
And he had shown me, on Wednesday, he had shown me messages just to show me that it's not my fault. She was actually on her way out. It's just that she fell sick and she had to stay a little longer.
Did you believe it?
I did not believe it, and that's why I told him, when she leaves, look for me. And then I didn't know it was going to be the next day.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, Irene, what?
It becomes conveniently the next day that she leaves. And then on Friday, I'm in his house.
You evicted her.
Yeah. And
anyway, you are the one who talked about karma.
And right now he's married to the same woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It was his woman.
Yeah. After we had 2 kids, that's when she got hers. We had our monogamous relationship from 2013 all the way to 2015.
Monogamous relationship.
As far as I was concerned,
or so you thought.
Also I thought. Because even in between, we could have conversations about her. Actually, he had actually requested me at some point to help him set her a business so that he can let her go. The reason why he was not letting her go is that she was there when he was rising to where he was at, and he was feeling like he was not ready to let her go just like that. I was willing, and we actually went to meet the lady to so that I could, because I was in campus doing business, so I could help her set up a business so that
I cannot believe the story you are telling me, man. Wait, do you believe this story?
And you know what this girlfriend told me that time? When I'm done with him, I'll let you know.
When I'm?
When I'm done with Chris, I'll let you know. I don't need your help.
Why was she telling you this?
She was so sure she wasn't done with Chris. She was so sure they were gonna go back together, but I never believed her. But right now she lives in a house we built with Chris.
You built with Chris?
Yeah.
In Parklands?
No, in Thika Road. Garden Estate, somewhere there.
Hey, wanna fear women. fear women. Have a sip of coffee.
Fear men. Fear men. Hey, fear men. Fear men.
Going back, do you believe the story he was telling you about blah, 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 oh, she saw me rising and I don't just want to leave her like that, to go empty-handed, oh, blah, blah, blah.
Fake. If a man ever tells me that again, I will tell him, hey, boss.
Fake.
You are fake. Yeah, but I'm grateful because I remember at some point feeling like I took someone else's man when I was already with kids with Chris, because I went back. I remembered before I even got children, when this relationship was still on and off with her. I remember telling Chris that this needs to end if I'm to progress with you. But I remember getting the desperation of not wanting to lose Chris. And when I met Chris, we started planning about getting a baby from the first week. We talked about babies from the first week. And by June, I was pregnant. And sometimes I usually think probably I really wanted to get a child because, number one, of the abortions, I wanted to still validate I was still able to get children. Number two, I'd met a responsible man. And number three, I wanted probably to solidify my life with him in a way that he will never leave me. So looking back...
So giving him a child was a route to getting into the ground?
I think so. But he also introduced me to his parents. And...
Gosh, at this point you have seen so many parents.
So many parents. So many parents.
Hey, kuna parents wamejaa kwa hii story.
I've met parents.
Yeah. You know, Irene, sometimes I look at life and realize that it's so hard to kill a human spirit.
You cannot. I'm the original comeback kid. I think that's what I have. I'm powerful in coming back, in bouncing back, in unveiling the blessings. I think I've learned how to just turn lemons into lemonade through the whole...
Man, it's that's a... Me, I don't know. We have just lived a very ordinary life, no drama. In fact, in as far as women are concerned, I have no drama in my life.
Wow.
And sometimes...
You were brought up well.
No.
Probably in a good family, where the family virtues were upheld.
I have always been a coward.
You are not a coward. You were taught how to love yourself, probably. Or you were proper guarding.
You see, for me, when I was growing up in the village, one of my very close friends was burnt alive.
Wow.
In the village for stealing. And he's the first person that asked me that we go steal.
Wow.
And we did. And I was almost killed. So we went with...
You saw death.
Yes, flashed through my eyes. So we went to... There is this gentleman... There was a fisherman whose wife would send to the lake, to River Nyando with his lunch packed. And my friend told me we go steal this guy's lunch. And we did.
Wow.
And when we were stealing the lunch, he saw us as he was approaching. He saw us take the lunch. And we did not see him see us. And this fishermen have got one of the sharpest pangas I've ever seen. Fishermen have got sharp pangas, my friend. They use it for cutting reeds, blah, blah, blah. It is so
Sharp.
Sharp. It goes with everything. This guy chased us for almost 45 minutes. He cornered us, and we had nowhere to go. And we dropped into the river.
Oh my goodness.
And swam across. And he was tall and built. As we were swimming, he was walking in the water.
What?
Yes. And he did not want to throw the panga because then the panga would get lost in the water. So that's how we escaped to the other side. And he followed us into the reeds.
He was so bitter.
Yes, and he cornered us again, and we dropped into the water again.
What? That was serious.
Yes, to the other side. So now, because he was walking on the water and he wasn't swimming, we swam a bit, and then we went to the other side, and now it just rained off. And that is how he let us go.
Wow.
You see, and most of the friends in the village were basically drinking alcohol. And it was a very bad life. My father was a drunkard. My mother was a housewife, So I had always been very careful. When that episode happened, that was not the first episode that happened where we were going to steal somebody's stuff. Before that, we were stealing oranges, stealing people's... I remember there is a time I had to jump from the top of a guava tree all the way down.
Wow.
Because yes, because this guy was waiting for me down.
What?
And I had to go to the branches and then drop as farther away from him and then escape.
Yeah.
And another one, and another one, and another one. And we just used to be really bad boys in the village. And most of my friends...
Enjoyed the adrenaline.
The adrenaline. One day I was almost killed by a dog. Somebody's dog. He unleashed the dog on us.
Wow.
The only thing that saved me was that I had gumboots.
So it bit the...
Yes, so it thought it was going for my ankle, but it was going for the gumboots. And a lot of all those things, and I could see things happening in the village. And at some point, I realized that I need to preserve my life. Yeah. So, even when I was coming to Nairobi, that's why I'm telling you, I create scenarios of what is likely to happen if I do this. I don't leave it at, okay, let me just have the sex. And worry about everything later.
Yeah.
I'm like, why can't I just masturbate?
It's easier, no consequences.
And forget about this, So I have always been very careful about going into danger. I don't like danger zones. Yeah. And I've always thought that women are very dangerous people.
Wow.
Women get you into situations whereby getting will be very difficult. Either you'll have to do something very stupid to get out of that situation, or you're going to go to jail. For me, that is what I think it comes to.
Yeah.
So I have been really, really, really careful when an opportunity arises.
Yeah.
I will think about scenario 1, scenario 2, scenario 3, scenario... At the end of the day, I realize that this thing is not going to help me.
Yeah.
This thing has got a lot of potential to derail
and
damage my life. So that's how. But I also think that sometimes you are really pushed hard.
Yeah, you are.
And for me, I don't want to judge people that are pushed. And then you do something. So, like, for example, the other day my house help left in the morning. We woke up with my wife and she was nowhere to be seen. The first thing I'm like, where is my daughter? So she woke up, prepared the daughter, put her in a bus to school, and then left.
Whoa, okay. She was so intentional.
My wife called the whole day and she wasn't picking. She sends my wife a message that my brother is in an accident.
She's from Western, that house girl?
Yes.
That's what they do. Lucky this one did not kill the brother. They were always going for matanga or something.
So now, we call her cousin that was Nani involved in an accident. First of all, she asked the lady that, have you seen Nani? Like, no, I've not seen her since Sunday. Has she talked with you? No. So then we realized that if it was the brother that was hospitalized, then this cousin of hers would know.
Would know, yeah.
And then she sends the following night, she sends my wife a photo of her with a bandage in her hand. That because of the brother's illness, she was also shocked.
That she got hospitalized.
Yes. But then we were wondering, why is she having a bandage on a sofa?
Wow.
See, people with bandages are in the hospital.
Yeah.
So up to today, we never understood. But
why she had to lie all...
Yes, but we suspect that she was in a man's house.
Oh, yeah, she got married.
Yeah. But we were just wondering, she's not a prisoner at our place. Just say that you have...
Awareness. That boils back to awareness. Yeah, it boils back to awareness where you don't actually realize your rights. You don't actually know what you... Like, just saying that this is what I want.
Yeah.
I don't know, different levels of awareness make people make different kind of choices and decisions. So I'll say it all boils back to awareness. And going through everything that I went through. Sometimes I look at my life a few years back and I'm like, was this really me? What was I actually thinking? What was I actually doing?
But also I have a feeling that you didn't have any support system around you because since I have not heard you talk about a brother, talk about a cousin, the only one who you were paipo to.
the provider of the accommodation.
Ukonda unakimbia ukitoka Parklands ama utoke wapi?
True. It was, I didn't have really a good support system and specifically male figures would actually help, like...
Do you think that it helps a young woman when you have cousins who are men around you?
Yeah.
You have uncles who are men around you?
Exactly.
It helps.
It does. Absolutely. It does because, if they tend to take care of you. Like when another man sees that there's another authority in this person's life, they're likely to respect that territory. And there are things they can never do to such a person. But unlike someone who is appearing to be like an orphan will be taken advantage more of than someone who has grown up in a family. Because there's no one really to speak for themselves. And when you meet people who are narcissists, people who are, the emotions are kind of entangled, they're likely to take advantage of you. And I think that is majorly what happens to people who don't have a good
and the abusers, they establish really fast that you do not have anybody.
Yeah, they do, based on how you present yourself. Like, since my dad passed on, to be sincere, I wouldn't say I've ever felt like I had a support system around me. The support system, which is my mom, I used to pity her. I used to feel like I don't need to be burdening her. I need to be lessening her burden because I'd seen what she had gone through during my childhood when my dad was there. And I could see how much effort she tries to put to make life happen. So I find that I kind of felt like an orphan, largely, to be sincere and not to disregard everyone who was there in my life. But I really did not have someone that I could intimately share and probably provide me a support system. Like, even when I was going through this marriage, which so many things happened, I couldn't go home in the midst of the issues because I'm scared of putting my mom to shame. How do you go home with a pregnancy? And even her, she's not ready for me to go home because she'll be like, how will people look at me? So I felt like I didn't have anywhere to go. I don't even have money to rent a space to live. So I remember I used to tell Chris, I'll take it for as long as I can. Because it got to a point now they got a child. And it was dawning on me. And even the ex, now the wife, I remember a time she told me, you don't know in whose house you're living in. A house we had built, we chose the tiles, we did everything together. The one that she told me, you don't know you're living in whose house. And the reason why she told me that is that the time they were together, they had bought the land together. Like she was in his life when he bought the land. Then I come when the land is already there we get babies and we now build a home to move with our children. So we move there with our children, but I realized they still have, actually they even get a baby. So when I just try to talk to her and tell her, please God will give, I didn't know there was a child actually when I was begging her, telling her, please just let me be, it has been so long, I have children, I want to hold this marriage together. I try to talk to her.
I think we are jumping ahead.
Yeah, we are jumping.
I think we are jumping ahead because this rain starts beating you.
Yeah.
At what point?
Year one. Few months. Not even few months. The girlfriend showed up 2-3 weeks in. And that's the time I was even telling him I'm ready to go back to my house. That time I wasn't really invested. And that time he's telling me he's going to set me up a business, a wines and spirits. I wanted to set up a wines and spirits so that at least I could generate and pay my fees. So at first when we got together with Chris, it was more of him wanting to help me. And then it developed into him and me getting close. So, okay, in the back of our minds, the back of my mind, I wanted school fees, though I was ready to become his wife, but my emotional state was not with him at all. Like, I didn't feel love for him at that particular point because I knew this was a situational kind of thing. But I was willing to do what it takes to be in it as long as I'm able to go through school. So as we progress, we plan the baby. We are trying every month, it's not coming. Then the lady is on and off coming back. That's the time I'm actually we are visiting her so that I could help her set up the business.
When you say she's coming up, what does that mean?
Messages, texts.
On Chris's
talking,
phone?
Yeah. And Chris is actually talking to me about her, telling me when I notice they are talking, he opens up, he tells me that he would like to set her up a business. And because he exposes her to me, her nature, she's not someone who is into working, into business. He has tried to support her. He has tried to tell her to go to campus. She wasn't interested. So he's coming to me to show how enlightened I am in a way that I could actually help her set up a business, and then she's gone. Then we can have our marriage.
Yeah, because she's
not her type.
We are always looking over our shoulder when she's not sorted financially. So
exactly.
we need to sort her financially so that we can have our lives together peacefully.
Yeah, and he has made it clear she's not her type because of her intellectual, like probably because she's not interested in growing her education.
And this is what Chris is saying. What do you think is actually happening looking back?
Looking back,
he's having both of you and he's enjoying both of you.
Looking back, because I've had moments of even knowing, I knew her so deep before I even met her. And I have met her and we have interacted, even got to heart-to-heart conversations with her, even tried to take care of each other's children. I have done all that. And looking back, she was a woman who Chris got when she was vulnerable, like she was 19 years and a virgin at that. So there was that strong emotional connection to this lady. And she had given her life to Chris all through. So looking back, I see someone who somehow knew they needed. He knew. Okay, probably he didn't really want. He wanted to move on, but they kept entangling each other based on the kind of strong connection they'd had. Because that woman is strong-willed. I tell you, to date she loves Chris. That woman has. She will do anything to be that guy, probably because of her past and all that, from my own understanding. And it's someone I've tried even to tell her that this is exactly what it is, but somehow she has never been able to. And I usually feel probably she has even been treated better than me. That's what I felt. Probably she has stronger reasons to stay there. I cannot really speak about them because somehow I feel they have a very strong bond.
They do?
I don't know. That's what I felt. They made me believe that because, do you know, this lady has been in my children's life since months. Chris would go with my son to her house. My firstborn son knows her all her life, all his life. Like, she has always been there. And actually, this is the time he's realizing. The other time, in April, he was asking, Mom, I have two moms. So what he's actually now getting to understand it all.
Your babies were going and eating at her house.
Yeah, and I didn't know.
You didn't know?
Yeah, I didn't know. He would, like, on Saturday say he's going to visit his parents. They lived in Nairobi. He had built them in Nairobi. And I would let him go with the kid, with my son, and then now later the other one. Only to learn that he used to take my kids to her.
Why?
Because they were still together. Actually, up to the time until 2020, he still used to keep rejecting her on my face. He has rejected her not once, on my face. But when we are not in good terms, he goes back to her and she picks him up like he never left.
She picks him up.
Yeah. So I think the more reason our marriage couldn't stand is Chris always had an option. It's me who thought I was the only option. He put me this illusion. Even when the time I noted that he had a child, I was in
with
denial.
this other girl.
Yeah, I couldn't even believe that's his child.
How did you get to know about this child?
Because she was a constant now and then. I'd saved her number. So this particular day, I'm just checking her WhatsApp, and I see her profile picture is a child. So I take that photo. There was a group of women I was leading. We were doing fascinating womanhood so that we can build our marriages. And that time, we were even making certificates for our husbands as per that book. You should read that book. Or at least your wife should read it. It's an interesting book. I was really
called what?
Fascinating Womanhood. That book made me do crazy things.
Fascinating Womanhood.
Yeah, Fascinating Womanhood. It teaches a woman how to be a wife. Yeah, so I was.
Women in the internet hate those things. Have you known? Women don't like those things that teaches them how to be a good wife.
Yeah, and he had identified women. We were
Fascinating Womanhood.
Yeah.
Womanhood.
Yeah, Fascinating Womanhood.
I'll check it out. Yeah, it would be very interesting.
I'll never forget that book because it was when I was doing everything that.
It's got a very good foundation.
It gives you step by step how to cook for your man, how to treat him, how to talk to him,
Damn.
how to do this and that.
That is like a church.
Yeah, it is. It is. And the worst of all, my empire broke when I was doing that book. It did not hold my marriage.
Kitabu haijengi nyumba.
Haikujenga hiyo nyumba.
Haikujenga. Oh my God. Bwana, sisi hatujamaliza bwana. Sisi hatujamaliza bwana. How long is it remaining here?
9 minutes. EPN around 9 minutes.
Sisi hatujamaliza bwana. We check with that guy if we can, because we have not talked about the book. People need to buy the book.
Yeah. Wow. You're making me, but I'm loving it because I'm seeing how I've made the best choices in my life right now where I am at. Yeah, it is. I remember in 2017, I think that's when it all dawned on me that all my relationships were financially based.
Yeah?
That's when I realized that.
All of them.
Yeah, and I asked myself, how can I get myself out of this? How can I start over my life? What do I do? And when the student is ready, the teacher shows up. So I think that's when I started saying no. That's when Chris started losing power over me. And that's when he became wild. That's when now he did all the shitty things to me, including kulala ndani. I've slept in cells for 2 days.
Anakupeleka cell?
Yeah, he did.
Why?
Because he has the mullah. So when I realized about his marriage with this other woman, when I noted that they had something going on, I think I told him, ile tu naively, I'm ready to leave this house and go live with my children in an apartment. Chris took that as a threat. And you know what he did? He went to court. That was in 2017, May, June. He went to court, got ex-party orders. One was status quo, that kids should not be moved there. Another one was divorce. Another one...
he initiated divorce.
Custody. Yeah, initiated divorce, which we have never married. But he initiated a divorce. But he never told me. And he had bought me a car in 2016. He had gone to a lawyer to demand it back, saying that I stole it from him. So in October, when now things were continuing, in October I noted they were still together. Now 2017, how I knew is that I found a receipt. He had gone shopping with her to shop for me, for my house. And I was like, no, I felt this was like more of an insult. Because we weren't in good terms, and I realized that. So when I told him, I vented, that's when he served me with all those documents.
He did?
Yeah, and I was like, what? Is it that serious? Where do I go from here? How do even people go to court? I didn't know what to do. I don't have an income. I am zero. I have had children.
Lakini si ile ka wine spirit mlikuwa mnafungua na hizo vitu zingine?
Wine spirits never got to open.
Na shule?
Which one? School. He paid the school fees. He would pay school fees, and then at the same time, Nazar. So I was going through school carrying pregnancies at the same time.
Wow.
So these are the clients I had to let go. They actually decided to end services at some point, but I was already now.
Because you are in the money, now you did not care for your clients.
I was in the money. Not really, but because I think she...
But you are comfortable.
Westgate issues. I think she got financial issues. But again, I was in a space that was feeling seemingly okay. So I decided to do my studies and the pregnancies. Yeah, I got my 2 babies. I graduated with my 2nd pregnancy.
Wow, but it's amazing how you never decided to leave school. You decided not to leave school.
Actually, do you know what I did? When I was joining campus, I wanted to do BCom finance. But when I started having babies, I was like, I cannot afford to fail. And my mind is fully divided. So what is the best way out? I decided to do marketing. Because marketing will be easy for me to navigate and get a good score. So I did marketing, and on my graduation day, he was never there.
Chris.
And I was 7 months pregnant.
After serving you?
But we were still living together. He was still my husband.
But he had served you. And the car, he said that he demanded it from you?
Yeah, now that was in 2017 when things were going haywire. He demanded the car. I got a demand letter from a lawyer saying that I had stolen the car from him.
It was on your name?
Yeah, it was on my name. Actually, he had given me the money to facilitate the transfer.
I hope you did not give that car away.
Imagine I did. What happened now after...
But you will have to transfer it to his name.
What happened? Actually, he bought the car in 2015 December. Then I transferred it. He gave me everything I needed to transfer it.